And welcome, it's Dan. Hope you're well today. So, as we begin the new year, Happy New Year to you. Hope you're going to have a fabulous one. This is our first podcast show of the year. Into year 11, we trundle with our podcast shows, and we're coming up to almost 1,000 shows. Can you believe that? That's absolutely amazing. I actually did a talk in November, and I was saying on stage that we'll come up to 1,000. And then we got this random round of applause, which kind of took me by surprise because I just thought, well, it's just normal. Surely everybody does that. Everyone's got a podcast these days. And clearly that's not the case because we've got a round of applause. Not that many people actually have a podcast. And if you haven't got a podcast, you absolutely should have a podcast, especially in 2026. This is what we call long form content. It gets people to know more about you. They'll see who you are on a little short form clips. Then they'll go source you out and find out more about you. They want to, they want to know who you are and what makes you tick and all of that kind of thing. It builds trust, and over a long period of time, then eventually they come around and they'll buy something from you. It might take 10 years, it might take 10 days, who knows? But you've got to be putting content out there. But in today's session, I want to talk about what can we do to put in place for 2026 to make it absolutely the best year yet. And I know everyone's doing a podcast saying, oh, make it your best year yet. I get it, right? 100% get it. So we'll try and make it a little bit different, not the normal boring bullshit that everybody else gets. Just try harder. I know you've been trying in 2025, nothing's worked, or not that much has worked, or boy, it's just been a really tough year, hasn't it? And we keep thinking after COVID, well, this will be our year. Oh, and it's not. Do you know what I mean? It's been a really tough couple of years since COVID. Prices are higher than ever. People are losing jobs. People are not recruiting. Customers are leaving. New customers are not coming. I get it. It's really challenging and really difficult out there. So let's try and make 2026 the best year yet. And I've got some things that I think will help you just put some things in place that I'm doing. And hopefully that you can take some of that and implement it into your life as well. So I think really importantly, we have this idea about working as hard as we can to make sure that everything works for us, and we're doing the best that we can and all that stuff, and we just have to work harder. And I don't actually think working harder is the key. Don't get me wrong, like, we've been working very hard with lots of content going out, and that has worked, and you absolutely have to have more content going out. But I don't think this is about you spending all day creating content, putting content out and scheduling it and editing it. You should bypass that, pass that on to somebody else. Obviously, that's what we do. One of the reasons why we want you to do that is because we would like to do it for you. But I know from my own personal experience, creating content like that on a daily basis, boy, it's incredibly challenging. It's incredibly hard, takes up so much time, and you end up not actually having time to do all the other important things that one needs to do. So I think that what you need to do is you need to drop all the chaos. You need to get rid of all the distractions, all the things that are not really making you the person that you want to be. Like, I've only really got 3 things in focus for this year. One of them is Spanish. I was talking about meeting up with some people from CrossFit for coffee. So one is my Spanish, 2 is my health. I want to ramp up, want to finally drop some weight. And it goes up and down and up and down, but I just need to dial into that. I want to drop some weight. And the third one is we want more customers. They're just 3 big things. You'll notice I've not put anything else in there. Yeah, those 3 things actually cover a multitude of things as well. But those are the 3 things that I really, really want to focus on. If I get to this time next year and I look at the year that we've just done, and I'm speaking fluent Spanish, I'm down to the body weight that I want to get to. I've got about 8 or 9 kilos to drop this year. And we've taken on, I don't know, more customers. Let's just say we have a number in mind. I'm not going to share it, but we've got a number in mind. And if we get to that point and those 3 things are ticked this year, that will make it a really good year for us. And, the following year, I will then focus on whatever else I need to focus on. But this year, I've only got 3 things I want to focus on. And what normally happens is that you've got this and you've got that and you've got this and you've got that. And don't get me wrong, I used to have that too. But now we just want to drill down, get into a lot of focus. I mean, some of that, let's take fitness. So some of it is working out twice a day. So we do WODs on the morning, we do weights in the afternoon. Some of it is eating right and making sure we're just not eating junk food all the time. We've eaten so much junk food. certainly eating some junk food and eating some shit throughout the year, that's totally fine, as expected, but not every night, Dan. Not every week. Like, have a week off, have 2 weeks off, have a month off. At the end of each month, celebrate with the worst meal you can think of, or the best meal. The worst meal in terms of calories, the best meal in terms of taste. Like, do that. That's fine. And then we've got things like supplements and blood test results and all of that kind of thing. So we're still doing all of that as we go into 2026. But the main primary focus is getting that body. I'm 53. I'll be 54 in 2026. Getting that body into a prime position for whatever is about to come, whatever that happens to be. If I need to go run 2 miles, climb up a rope, put a person on my back and rescue them for whatever reason, I don't know what circumstance would mean that that would happen. But if it does happen, I want to be ready so that I can do that. I want to be able to perform. My kid's 11, when she's 18, I want to be able to perform. When my nieces and nephews in particular, they're doing biathlons now. They're 13 and 16. And I'm like, oh my gosh, how fast is your 5K? And they're like 21 minutes. I'm like, goodness me. And it really annoys me because it's like, by the way, 21 minutes is a super fast time. My 5K, I'll be lucky if I get 26 minutes. And I'm like, I love the competition, by the way. And I love being able to really power through and go head on and beat these guys. And that's one of my plans. I hate people being able to beat me at stuff. But that's my only 3 things. I'm getting rid of everything else. All the other distractions are just that. We've got rid of property this year. Thank God. No more property, no more tenants, no more boilers. The weight that is lifted off that. I can even go on holiday and never have to worry about I'm going to get a tenant coming through because there's a problem. Someone's smashed the window and suddenly it's my fault, or they've been locked out and that's also my fault, or they've ex-boyfriend's gone around and pulled all the cupboards off the wall and smashed the place up, because obviously that's my fault as well. Literally, that's what happens when you're a landlord. No more. All those distractions gone for 2026, and all we have to do now is focus on those 3 things: have more clients, get a better body, and learn some goddamn Spanish. And so some of that is removing some of these distractions. But the next one, number 2, then, is just letting go of who you were last year. Like the snake that sheds the skin. This is a new year. Everything up to now, everything in the past, everything is irrelevant. If you got fat, if you got single, if you got divorced, if you lost a parent, if worse happened, your health went, something happened to your kids, that's done and it's gone. And now I need you to stop looking at the past and look forward to the future, because the future is where you're going to live your entire lifetime, not in the past. And it's easy. I was having a conversation with somebody, a good friend of mine, Steve, comes up at Christmas. We always go out. We see each other once or twice a year. And we're talking about stuff that happened when we were kids at school, stuff that you said to people that you really cringe now and you really regret. And because, you're older and you're wiser. And we're still talking about that stuff that happened 40 years ago and that we feel cringing about. And I'm like, why do we do that? Why do we look back and beat ourselves up with some of the bad stuff that we said or the stuff that we did? And that's not where we live. Nobody remembers that. That doesn't even exist in anybody's memory, only yours. And you're carrying it around like a big sack full of bad memory bricks, right? But you're having to lug around everywhere. Now is the time to clear all that off. 2026 is a new you. You've got a new version. You need to set your goals, set your plans, have a new standard, and you need to really let go of who you were last year. Because number 3 is the danger of bringing this emotional baggage into 2026. Did it serve you in 2025? Like, if you got fat, maybe it served you, maybe your confidence was low, and maybe that was the thing that got you to lose some weight. But other than that, you're just beating yourself up with it. Remove this unfinished, this unwanted emotional baggage. This is not who you're going to be in 2026. That's who you were in 2025. That person is gone. They no longer exist. You are you, and you can define a new year for you. And this is where we need you to be. This emotional baggage, things like resentment, regret, guilt. I mean, God, as a dad, I feel guilt all the time. Stuff I should have said, stuff I should have done, going to family court, 10 years ago, and my relationships with my two children living in the UK now. There's all these different things that you could have said, that you could have done differently, and blah, 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 blah. It's bollocks, right? Get rid of it. You are you. You're moving into 2026, and you need to remove all this distraction. The guilt does not serve you anymore. And there are other emotions that are not serving you anymore, and you've got to get rid of those. And so when you get rid of those, what are you going to replace them with? Now, I love goals. So this is number 4 we're talking about. I love goals. I love having goals. I've got goals all written down. I use ChatGPT also to record them. It knows where I am, and it's going to check in on me to ask me how it's going and blah, 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 right? I love goals. But I also think that having just goals is not the key. Having a higher standard. So, for example, me going to the gym every day is a higher standard that most other people will not hold themselves to. When I got that round of applause saying I've done 10 years of podcasting, like that is just my standard. Other people have not yet done that. And so that has not become their standard. Going to the gym every day has not become their standard. My standard of eating shit food is my standard. And those standards are no longer good enough. They are no longer the things that will get me to where I want to get to. And so those standards have to change. Because if you've ever done Tony Robbins, Unleash the Power Within, set a new standard. It's one of the affirmations that we do. Step up, step up. Step up, set a new standard, and you've got to adhere to that standard. And this is where you get to decide what are your standards, not other people's, not your mum and dad's, not your friends, not your siblings. What are your standards? What are you expecting from yourself in order for you to be the best version of you that you possibly can? What is that standard? And this is for you to decide. Your standards aren't given to you. You don't just wake up one morning and realise that you're a fat bastard and that's your standard. No. That's a decision that you've made not to work out, not to eat properly. And yet, we had this conversation. Some people, absolutely, they're just overweight. Nobody knows why. It must be their body type. I get that. Like 0.001% of the population, 100% agree. I saw some ladies in 2025 all sat around a table eating bacon butties, and I was eating my bacon butty as well. No judgment, folks. But they were large ladies, and they were talking about taking Ozempic. Because, I've tried everything, and I can't lose weight. Sat there, took it into a bacon sarnie. And I'm like, no judgment, he says, right? I'm judging. Fine, just deal with it. In order for me to get over what I need to get over, you need to just deal with it, right? I was judging. Because the standard that they've set for themselves is a different standard than I set for myself. And by the way, I'm a hypocrite because I was also eating a bacon sarnie. But I'd worked out almost every day for the past 4 weeks anyway, right? And was on a diet, and it was like one of my cheat days. So fine. As long as your cheat day isn't every day. But where's the standard? Where do you want to be when you step into a networking event and you look good? I went out on 2 nights before Christmas. Steve came up. We went into the Viaduct, which is a gay bar, which is a real fun place. I remember Steve coming out to me many, many years ago, and I'm like, dude, I'm happy for you. It was really, I was like, we know. Do you know what I mean? I'm surprised you haven't come out before. It's fine, Anyway, so we always go to the Viaduct. We got talking to these 2 ladies who were married. And we got talking, and one of them mentioned my arms, and then I started talking about CrossFit, and it turns out that she works in a fire station. She does all the PT, so we had a long conversation about that. But the fact that she said it, and then later on her wife also came and said, well, you look like you work out. I'm like, oh my God, it's so good for the ego, by the way. But that is my standard. My standard is I want to work out. I want to be stronger than the next guy. I want to be the most capable guy in the room. And when I walk in a room, I want people to think, well, he looks good. He's disciplined. He knows how to get that result. That's what you want. I know people buy Ferraris and think that that's going to get them the same thing. But unfortunately, you park your Ferrari outside the networking event. The Ferrari that you have is the body that you wear. And not most people are driving like a dumper truck, when actually you could have the body of a Ferrari, and you're like, well, yeah, but that's so much work. You're right, but it's so worth doing. But it's only worth doing because the standards that you set for yourself, and what I'm going to talk about today, will help you set some of those standards. This is about you stepping up in 2026 and becoming the person that you think you are. One of my goals after I stood on stage, someone was saying, so what's 2026 going to look like for you? And I said, oh no, what's going to change after this event? It was Billionaire Bootcamp in Bali. And they said, what's going to change for you? And I said, I want to be more like the person that everybody thought they saw on stage. I'll say that again, just to make sure you get it. I want it to be more like the person that everybody thought I was on stage, because I'm not that person. That's a idealized, stylized version of me. You don't see me when I'm down. You don't see me when I'm depressed. You don't see me when I'm angry. You don't see me when I'm frustrated. You don't see me when things are not going right. You don't see me when the shit's hitting the fan. You just see this stylized version, which, by the way, is what we see on everybody on social media. You just see this wonderful stylized version with lights in the background. And do you know what I mean? Like, I need to step up to my standard of that person. That's not to say that I won't get frustrated, I won't get depressed, and things won't hit the shit will hit the fan, because it will. But how I handle that is as important as that stuff happening. I almost said, because I watched Star Trek Wrath of Khan yesterday, because it's Christmas, right? It's one of the best Christmas films ever, Wrath of Khan. I forgot what I was going to say now, but anyway, it was something I just said. What was it? Can't remember. It's irrelevant. Number 5, small daily habits, like your habits on a morning when you wake up. So for me, I wake up, I let the dog out, I come back upstairs, I jump in a shower, I come downstairs, I get dressed, obviously. I come downstairs, I give the dog her dinner, I check all my numbers, everything, finances, weight, muscle, workout, all that stuff, all checked out. I look at the diary for the day, then I drink my coffee at the same time, take my supplements, and then I hit the gym. Those habits for me have been absolutely game changing in 2025. And these are not massive, grandiose things that I've had to change in order for me to do that and get those results. It's a small change. And I'm not saying that you wake up one morning, you throw all your junk food in the bin and you just eat clean and that's it, because that doesn't happen. We know that doesn't happen. And so it's habits, these small habits, getting to the workout, getting to the gym, having the coffee, taking the supplements. Like, sometimes, do you think I want to go through 10 bottles of supplements and taking a tablet from each one? No. But then I look at the blood work and I see how much my testosterone has increased, and I see how much my magnesium and my zinc and my copper has increased. And I look at all these different blood results that are telling me, do you know what, Dan, you're moving towards an athlete level blood work. And isn't that amazing? 53, for God's sake, moving towards an an athletic level of blood work. One of my blood works came back and said it was elite, like a 21-year-old athlete elite. I can't remember which one. Wasn't a major one, sadly, but I'll take it. It's one of those little wins that came from one of these smaller habits of improving myself, doing these small little things. I looked at what shampoo would make my hair better, what toothpaste would look after my teeth better, what shaving foam would look after my face better and feel like a smoother shave, what's the razor blades, and I worked out they were too expensive, so I stuck with the Amazon ones, which are fine, and I still get the same results. But I looked at all these little things that I was doing, all these little habits, and I was deciding which ones am I going to change and which ones am I absolutely going to improve on. So you don't need this massive grandiose plan. You just need these small little habits, because these small little habits over a long period of time will make a big difference as you go through the year, July and August and November and December. As you go through the year, these habits will compound over a period of time. And then when you've got these habits, you need to get consistent at them, which means you do the same thing every day. God damn it. That's what being consistent means. Being consistent doesn't mean coming up with new shit every day to be amazing. It means doing the stuff that you've decided that will get you to where you want to get to. And you do that day in, day out, regardless of how boring it is. Like I say, with the supplements. Do you think that's really boring? Having bloody supplements first thing on the morning and then certain supplements at night? and then having to get my blood works checked, and sometimes going to the gym twice a day to work on the muscle. I do the workouts in the morning now, muscle in the afternoon. Do you think that's boring? Listen to the same playlist. Of course it's boring. That's what consistency is. Consistency isn't doing 10,000 different workouts once. It's doing the same workout 10,000 times. That's how you get good. That's what consistency looks like. And I don't think people understand that's what consistency is. I think people think it's doing different things and continually improving things, and certainly continually improving, but you continually improve by doing the same things. If I'm benching 70 kilos and I want to get to the magic 100 kilos, right? 225 pounds, 100 kilos. My absolute max in 2025 was 85 kilos, 15 kilos left. I was right on the edge of that 85 kilos, by the way, and I've definitely dropped because I've not been consistent. How do you get consistent to do a 100 kilo bench press? You do 70 kilos, 75, 80 kilos, 85, 90 kilos, 95. And you stay at 95 until you get to the 100. That's how it works. That's what consistency looks like. And, you know, the consistency will override a lack of motivation. Dan, how do you feel motivated to go to the gym every day? I am not motivated to go to the gym every day. I have the habit of going to the gym every day, and I have this level of consistency, which means I have to go to the gym every day. And I also look at what are the goals for the year and where do you want to be. And if me not going and just, you know, watching a different Star Trek film, is that going to move me closer to my goals or further away? Well, obviously it's further away. That level of consistency is going to beat motivation every single time, and you've got to get consistent. If you want more traffic to your website, you've got to post more. If you want more comments or more views on your social media, you've got to post more. It's consistent. It's doing the same thing day in, day out, so that you never get demotivated, and even when you do get demotivated, you do it anyway. The other thing that for 2026 is, who are you taking advice from? Like, for me, because I'm older than you, I'm guessing, right? Because most of our audience is between 25 and 50, mostly. Okay, so this is really important. Who you're taking advice from is number one, and number two, who you're taking insults from. So, what do we mean by insults? Insults are people who are gonna shit on you on social media, usually from an anonymous account, because they are so brave, so brave that they are anonymous. And usually I like to fuck around with them and talk about the mother. That's normally what I do. It's my little joy in life. I like to talk about their micro penis or whatever that happens to be. That's just me, right? One of the things I get my kicks out of. I love winding up trolls. I love it because they're just trolls, they're just knobheads, right? The people who are not doing anything, they just, you know, I had a guy a couple of months ago, oh, you can't do pull-ups. I'm doing weighted pull-ups, okay, with a 10-kilogram weighted vest. Oh, your shoulders and arms are too weak for you to be doing those pull-ups. Really, motherfucker, I've just done 10. Do you do 10 weighted pull-ups? Let me know how that goes. Where's your video on your weighted pull-ups? You haven't got one because you're a weak-ass motherfucker, right? So, like, I enjoy that, and it's really good for the algorithm. I get more engagement and I get more views, and I actually enjoy it. But there was a time when I really didn't enjoy that, and I go, oh, maybe they're right. Maybe I shouldn't be doing the weighted pull-ups. Maybe they have a point. Who the fuck are they? What do they know about anything? So this is the thing. You've got to watch who you are getting information from. And if it's on social media from people who have nothing better to do, nothing, than be a troll and be evil and be nasty and say awful, nasty things to random strangers on the internet who have no idea who they are. You know what? They would never say it to their face. Because if they did, they'd get knocked on their fucking ass, right? And that's my standard. That's who I want to be more of. You want to threaten me? Brilliant. Come and say it to my face. Let's see how that goes. Love it. I might get my ass kicked. That's okay. I'm 53. I am more than happy with that these days. It's not standing up for yourself and not having that standard. And that's where I don't want to be. But listening to those people will not serve you. Double down. They call you a weak ass. They say that you're rubbish. Do more videos. Do more of that. Wind them up and thank them. Say, you're right. You're absolutely right. And because of that, I'm going to do more of it so I get even better. Wonderful. This is again about you setting up a higher standard for yourself and never letting other people, especially the wankers in the world, and there's a lot of them and they seem to be increasing, and social media seems to be, well, I have a keyboard, so I'm allowed to say whatever I like. No, that's not true. You're not. And if I find out who you are, I'll come round, we'll sort it out. I love that as an idea. I love it. People are like, well, I'm a kickboxer. Fine. We'll still sort it out. I might get a lucky punch in, but you also might not see me coming, mate. Like, don't settle for the negativity that people are coming after you for. It's not worth it. They are not worth it. Their sad little lives are not worth it. Your life is the most important life on the planet, just as my life is the most important life on the planet. And I like to try and big people up rather than put people down. And I think you could do the same, and other people could do the same on you, but you're never always going to get that. You're always going to get people who are negative and so on. That's number one. Dealing with the trolls, dealing with the haters. Fuck them. These guys are losers. You don't have to deal with them. Which moves me on to not the trolls, people in your family, in your immediate circle, friends, colleagues, associates, the negativity that they have. Well, that won't work. Oh, you're going to do that, are you? Well, good luck. Do you know what I mean? Oh, well, good luck with that. I hate it. And it's like these little, it's a compliment with a kick up the arse. Do you know what I mean? And I hate those. And so you've really got to start moving your attention away from those people and onto more positive people, whoever that might be. Might be someone famous, might be someone not so famous, might be a podcast, might be a streaming service. It might be watching somebody else's workout routine, whatever that is. It might be a multiple people. I love looking at Chris Evans when he was doing Captain America and Thor. The guy that played Thor, when they were doing their workouts, that was great motivation for me, because I'm like, okay, maybe I can do some of that stuff as well. And so that was highly motivating, and that was something that I took on board that I could use in my workouts as well. Next one then, designing your days before the world designs them for you. This is about planning, folks. And I know that people don't like time management, but if you can manage your time where you're tasking certain things that need to get done, this podcast, for example, is in my calendar, and it is tasked for me to do this podcast show. It's in there. I don't have to concentrate on anybody else or anything else. I'm here for 30, 40 minutes to do this podcast, to get this information over, because I think it will help you in your year ahead. And so allocating my time accordingly to do all the things that I need to do, my CrossFit workouts in my calendar, me walking the dog on the beach is in my calendar, because I get such good mental positivity from that. It's all in there, because if it's important enough to get done, it should be in your calendar like everything else. You need to design your days so that other people don't put their shit in that they need doing, that's important to them, that's not important to you, but now you suddenly are responsible for getting it done. No. Move all that stuff to one side. I'm not saying that you don't help people, but you say, yeah, I can fit that in between 5 and 5:30, between 12 and 12:30. I've got half an hour for it then. Like, you should be in total control over your time, over your days, over your week, over all of that time management. You need to be looking after that. And building, number 9, building a level of mental resilience. One of the biggest things that I've learned from CrossFit is, and I felt it today. I've not done CrossFit. We went over to the UK, not done CrossFit for a bit. Ate loads of shit basically, because it's Christmas, and chocolate and sweets and bad food and McDonald's and everything else, right? And so I was really feeling it, really struggling. And today, in today's workout, I had to go to that place mentally, that mental resilience, where you want to give up and you keep on going. And you see other people around you, they also want to give up, but they're not stopping. Why am I so special that I should stop? My lungs are bursting, but you go to that place, that level of mental resilience, and you need to be harder to knock off course. And you do that by building up mental resilience. One of the reasons why I love CrossFit so much, certainly the physical things, and the physical things have pulled the diet into place as well. But that mental aspect of being very difficult to pull off target, you know, you're tired, you're hungry, you're exhausted, but you still got this work to do. That level of mental resilience, and CrossFit for me has built that. I just didn't have that. I was always motivated, and when I wasn't motivated, I didn't do the work like we spoke about before. So that level of resilience, what are you going to put in place as part of your habits? And I would suggest this is part of your